Hi, it's Andy again, and in this video we're going to study some easy chords. These are chords with two fingers. Okay, here we go. So the first chord we're going to play is E7. You're going to begin by placing your first finger on string 3. 1, 2, 3. Third string from the floor. There you go. Right next to fret 1. Okay, start with that. Sounds like this. Okay, so keep that finger on. We're going to add another finger. We're going to add the second finger. That's your middle finger. Okay, your middle finger is going to play a note on the second fret, string number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Fret number 5. Okay, so you've got two fingers on the fretboard, and you take your pick and you strum all the strings. Okay, now I want you to play every single one of those strings individually so we hear each one of the strings. So here's the 6th string. Here's the 5th string. Here's the 4th string. Here's the 3rd string. Here's the 2nd string. Here's the 1st string. Okay, you should have a note on each one of those strings. I should hear 6 notes. Okay, when students usually learn this chord, they hear this. The 6th string sounds good, and the 5th string sounds good, and the 4th string sounds like oof. Uh-oh, no sound. What's happening there? I got no music. Okay, well, it's because your middle finger is bumping into the 4th string a little bit right there. So instead of laying your finger on the 4th string, you have to really stand it up on the very tip of the finger, so that it doesn't bump into any adjacent strings. Okay, so that takes a little bit of practice, but I think you'll get it. If that seems like a struggle, then you might have your thumb in the wrong spot, because if your thumb is hanging out in space over here, your middle finger will never have the right angle. You've got to really hide your thumb behind the fretboard. That will help you to place your middle finger in the right place. Okay, if this chord is too difficult for you, if you really struggle, watch the video with the 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise. That's going to teach you to really stretch your fingers far apart. So that's a good primer for this chord. Anyways, let's continue. So you play this chord 4 times. Okay, and then chop the strings. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take those 2 fingers and just kind of freeze them like they're in the freezer. Hold them steady, take them both up in the air and move them 1 string over toward the floor. So now your pointer finger's on string 2 and your middle finger's on string 4. So we just switched chords and now we're on A7. Okay, now some students will say, well, Andy, it's easier to just take your fingers and move them one at a time. Maybe I want to move finger 1, then I want to move finger 2. Okay, you can do it that way. That's fine. Or some students will say, but wait, Andy, I think I want to move finger 2, then I want to move finger 1. Okay, as long as it makes music and sounds good, that's all that matters. But then other students will say, well, I want to take both fingers, lift them both up, move them both over, and set them both down. Okay, that works too. So find the way that works the best for you. In fact, I would try all of those methods that I just mentioned, then decide which one's easiest. So don't make up your mind until you've tried all 3. Okay, I'll tell you that I take both fingers, lift them up, and move them both over. But, you know, for some students it's easier just to move 1, then move 2. That's okay. Okay, now that you know the chords, let's keep a beat, because all music has a beat. So I suppose you could sit at home and practice these chords and not keep a beat, but who's going to want to listen to that? All music has a beat, right? Can you name a song that doesn't have a beat? I can't either. Okay, so here we go. We're going to keep a beat. Ready? I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 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 Okay, tap your foot. Tap, tap. Switch. Tap, 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 tap. Switch. Tap, 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 tap. Switch. Tap. Good. Keep it going. Play each chord 4 times. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm not going to count for you though. You have to be able to count to 4 by yourself. I think you can handle it. Play each chord exactly 4 times. Don't play it 3 times. Don't play it 5 times. Exactly 4 times. You have to count it by yourself. I'm not counting for you. If you play each one exactly 4 times, you should be in sync with me. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. Count by yourself. Keep doing it over and over until it starts to seem easier. Watch this video every day. Practice along with me for a week. I guarantee after a week, you'll think this is the easiest song in the world. Even if it seems difficult now. Good. Let's take a break. Okay, rest your fingers for a minute. Good. You might even want to shake out your hand and just relax, maybe move your shoulders around. You want to let go of all the tension. Just let your fingers relax for a few minutes. Okay, shall we do some other chords? How about, let's do A7 and D6. Let's learn that one next. That one's pretty easy. Okay, here we go. So, A7 starts like this. You take your pointer finger, your first finger, you place it on the 2nd fret, string number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th string from the floor. Okay, got that one? Alright, 2nd finger now is going to play a note. That's your middle finger. On, let's see, string 2. 1, 2. 2nd fret. Okay, so this is kind of a every other string kind of chord. In other words, you have a note on the 2nd string and you have a note on the 4th string. It's basically like your fingers are on every other string. The interesting thing about this chord is you have the 2nd fret, you have the 2nd fret. Both fingers play the 2nd fret. Here we go. So you got to crowd them in there and get them real close to the 2nd fret like this. Okay, when most beginners play this chord, it looks more like this. Okay, notice my first finger. It's not really close to the 2nd fret at all, is it? I'm afraid that note might sound like this. Kind of sounds muffled, huh? Okay, well you have to scooch that first finger up there, right up next to the fret. There we go. Close to the fret on this note, close to the fret on this note. Notice how I'm constantly just adjusting my fingers. I'm going to adjust this one a little, I'm going to adjust this one a little. I'm going to adjust this one a little. There we go. I'm going to play it. Wait, I'm going to adjust a little more. I'm going to play it again. I want to adjust it a little more. There we go. Okay, that's what it's like learning these new chords. You're going to play it, then you're going to go, oh, I don't quite have it exactly. I'm going to move it over a little. There we go. You'll eventually find just the right spot for those fingers, just the exact spot where all the notes ring out. If you don't find it the first time, that's normal. Just move them around a little bit, make a readjustment, and play again. That's how you learn. That's how you master these chords. You adjust your fingers until you've got it exactly right. Okay, So here we go. We're going to strum that chord 4 times. Okay, so this one gets a little tricky though, because I don't know if you noticed this, but I didn't strum all the strings. I strummed only 5 strings. I took my pick and I placed it on the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th string from the floor. And I strummed downward with my pick. Okay, so there's one string I did not play, and that would be the thickest string, string number 6. I didn't play string 6 at all. Okay, so if you accidentally play string 6, then you get this note. Bang. That note doesn't fit this chord. You don't want that note. That'll make the chord sound real muddy. Okay, I'll play the chord and then I'll add string 6 in, and you tell me if it sounds good. Bang. We don't want that note in there. Okay, so avoid strumming string 6 with your pick. Just take your pick, place it on string 5, and then brush your pick downward toward the floor. There you go. You just played 5 of the strings and you didn't play string 6. Okay, it's time to move on to the next chord. Okay, take those 2 fingers that you've got on the fretboard and lift them up and move them over 1 string down toward the floor. Okay, so that leaves you with your pointer finger on the 3rd string and your middle finger on the skinniest string, which is string 1. There we go. Now I have a new chord. That's called D6. Okay. So on this chord, I don't play all the strings either. On this chord, I'm very purposely going to put my pick on the 4th string, and I'm going to strum downward. So I'm playing only 4 strings. I did not play string 5, and I did not play string 6. I don't want either one of those notes. I only want 4 notes. So take your pick, place it on the 4th string, and then strum downward. You'll get 4 of the strings. Okay, there you go. There's your D6. So let's make a song out of these 2 chords. We're going to start over with the A7 chord, the first chord we played. And we're going to hit that chord 4 times. Okay, and then we're going to take those 2 fingers and move them over. Then you've got a D6. Okay, so in this song, it gets a little tricky because not only are you thinking about your fingers and where they go, but you're thinking about your pick and where to strum. So we're going to take it nice and slow and go in a step-by-step process. So step 1, place your fingers in the shape of an A7 chord. Step 2, take your pick, place it on the 5th string, and strum downward. Okay, now you may want to chop the strings and silence your guitar while you move on to the next chord. So our next step is to take the fingers, lift them up, move them over, place them in the position for a D6 chord. Then the next step is to take your pick, place it on the 4th string, and strum downward. There we go. Then of course you may want to chop the strings so that you can move your fingers around and get ready on the next chord. You know, if you don't chop the strings, that's okay, but you may get some extra noises that you didn't really mean to play. For example, you might play a chord, then you might go, okay, it's time to change chords. Did you hear that sound? What was that sound? Well, that was my fingers leaving the strings. I made a sound I didn't really mean to make. I basically played some notes that weren't in the song. Oops. Those notes might not sound good. Okay, if you take your hand and you karate chop the strings, you silence your guitar, and so it's not making any sound, it's not making any noise. So, you know, you can move your fingers freely. It makes no sound. That's because my hand is karate chopping the strings. I can move my fingers around, not get any unwanted sounds. Okay, now if I don't karate chop the strings at all, if I just leave my hand out in space, Then I might get this. All sort of sounds there. Those are unwanted sounds. I don't really want those. I'm playing some notes that aren't in this song. Okay, now let's keep a beat on this song. Ready? Here we go. We're going to start the song over. And we're going to play each chord 4 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. You count. You have to play each chord exactly 4 times. But you've got to count it. I'm not going to count for you. Just keep strumming. Keep the song going. Try to keep strumming even if your fingers aren't even ready. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of that. So here I am. I'm playing the chord. Watch me miss this chord. Here it goes. Whoops! The song keeps going anyways. Notice the song's continuing. Did the song stop? Did I start over? Did I freeze? No, I just kept playing. I had a chord I completely missed, but I continued the song nonetheless. Okay, watch me miss this chord. Oh, ouch. Who cares? Keep going. See, I redeemed myself by continuing the song. Now I'm sounding good. Okay, you should practice that. Whenever you miss, keep the song going. See if you can survive. Continue to play. Maybe no one will notice. Practice recovering from every mistake you make. Because you're going to make mistakes. The question is, are you good at recovering from them? Can you still keep the song alive? Or do you give up? Okay, there we go. So you learned some new chords. I'll see you in the next lesson.